Laundrie,
And wasn't there a phone we're looking for too? Gabby's phone?
right?
I think a lot of people have been asking about that. So
Hey, welcome everyone. All right, I don't have a lot of time, but I had to go live about this. So let me say hello to everyone. What's up? I am in my feety pajamas. It's 47 degrees. So here we are in round 2 of Brian Laundrie. And let me just say, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. I am a little blown away. I am frustrated. I'm aggravated. I'm listening to JB and Brian Laundrie. JB and Josh. And I want to beat them up. First time ever. I just want to beat them up. I'm going to tell you why. You guys know I don't do conspiracy theories. And you guys know that I don't do the bullshit and I don't run with the bullshit. But let me tell you this. Marissa was boots on there. She was there. The very first thing that she said to me was there was a gun found next to the body. It was one of the very first things she said. And then that changed. So why are they hiding the gun? There was no reason for Marissa to tell me this. Like, Marissa's not a liar like that. She's not going to make something up to me because that's going to put her reputation and mine. And she knows I don't play that way. You know, if it was, what's his name? Somebody else that said it to me, I'd be like, yeah, right, whatever. But the fact that she said it initially, they found a gun near the body. She could have heard that from somebody, or she saw it herself. Not saw it herself, but heard it from the news reporters. And now, all of a sudden, after that, that changed. You either know there's a gun or there's not. Plain and simple. But then they said there was no gun. They don't know where the gun is. It was all over the news. The man in the truck told Marissa. There you go. But she said it even before she met the guy in the truck. Like, even before that. So, I agree and remember the day. And yes, those that were out there heard a gun was next to remains. Exactly. Now, a gun is pretty heavy. And a gun is... if you shoot yourself, nobody's taking the gun. So, for them to say, what Gabby is found is all rocks and no place to have a tent. So, for for Marissa to tell me there was a gun, I believe that there was a gun. And now all of a sudden, this gun disappeared into thin air. Nobody knows where it is. Nobody has any knowledge of it. JB and Josh, they have no knowledge of it. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. You don't get a gunshot wound to the head with no gun. You just don't. If you guys remember, this is why I don't understand why I'm not rich and famous with 100,000 subs. I called that initially. I said that Brian I didn't say self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, but I said Brian killed himself by shooting himself in the head. That's what I said. And everyone fought me, not you guys, but a lot of people fought me. A lot of people said, no. He's out there, he's on the run, he's this. And once again, I was right. But that's why I don't know why I'm not rich and famous. Yeah, everybody on that scene said there was a gun. They did. And I believe them. Like I said, the fact that nobody could find him. The fact that I knew from the beginning, well, no, that's a lie, not from the beginning. I knew about halfway into it that they were looking for a dead body. They weren't, the whole search was not for someone alive. They knew that someone was dead, and that's that. So far, almost everything that I had predicted has come true, has been right. So, again, I'm not sure why I'm not rich and famous. I just went live. I just, did it on a whim. Yeah, the FBI never said there was a gun. The people that were on site were the ones that were saying there was a gun. But it would make sense that there was a gun, and now they found out it was a gunshot wound to the head. Which, I mean, really, if you're going to kill yourself, that's how you would do it, is a gunshot wound to the head. You're not going to shoot yourself in the chest or anything. Okay. Quinny, I'm going to address that. Brian would have no reason to kill himself and spend all her money if he's not the one that killed her. I'm just using logic in this. I'm using basic logic. If Brian did nothing to her, there would be absolutely no reason for him to kill himself. It just wouldn't. See, Loveland, I had said this from day one. I don't really think it's anything like hard to swallow. Okay, he had nothing to do with the newlyweds. I can't believe people are still running with this. Absolutely, exactly. That's why his skull was busted up. Absolutely no reason for anybody to think that he killed the lesbians. Brian was not a psycho killer. He wasn't some crazy gunman who went crazy and killed 2 lesbians, and they said that a creepy guy was around. I mean, none of that makes sense. The fact that 2 people are now dead due to what I believe to be Brian's actions or what needs to be focused on. Yeah, he did not kill the women in Moab. I totally agree with that. I also did not know about the women in Moab. I always thought that they were found right next to each other, that they were in a campsite and they were both found murdered. But somebody else was saying there is so many, they weren't found next to each other. They were found elsewhere. 7 alibis, that's the problem. I don't have a theory. I have more questions. Thanks, good vibes. I have more questions. Why are they hiding the gun? Why is nobody talking about the gun? That's the stuff I can't understand. I don't, people on site said there was a gun. So why is everyone talking like the gun doesn't exist? If it was a gunshot wound to the head, there's a gun somewhere. Especially if they rule it a suicide. If they rule it a suicide, they have to know there's a gun. They have to know that there's a gun around. It just doesn't make sense. That's a good point, Johnny. That is a good theory that I never even thought of. Maybe the parents took the gun. Excellent point. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Did not think of that. I don't know. It's definitely possible. Honestly, I never thought of that. Brian was a coward. I agree. Wouldn't have had a chance to take the gun. That's not true, El. We don't know that. Yeah, but Bonnie, I think he ended his life immediately. I think he went out in those woods and he did it immediately. I don't know why they would take the gun. I'm just saying that I don't believe that there's that they don't have the gun. And if you listen to WFLA, they're saying that, you know, they don't know where the gun is. They don't know if there's a gun. Oh, and I'm just not buying it. I think there's more to it. The rumors are already starting. I agree. An officer told the protesters about the gun. They wouldn't let it go out of sight. But obviously they did if nobody knows about it. Like, if it wasn't for Marissa telling me that there was a gun, I would have no idea there was a gun. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know. We still don't know what's in the backpack. We still don't know what was in the bag. That's on my cover photo. We don't know. We don't know what's in the notebook. Nobody's even talked about the notebook. Well, the importance of the gun to me, Anita, is where is it? If you know it's a suicide from a skull, I would assume you have the gun. Just a guess. I just think that they're not giving the full story. They're only giving bits and pieces. I just don't think they're giving the full story, and it bothers me. Johnny, I absolutely agree with that. I cannot argue with that at all. 100% agree with that. Because the FBI has said nothing. The suicide statement comes from the attorney. I'm sure the FBI will state more. Well, what I want you guys to hear is I'm going to play the first couple of minutes of WFLA so you can hear exactly, like they can explain it better than I can. Let me switch this. Hold on. All right, hang on. And there's a press conference that's going on at like 3. I am using Red Apple.
Live on about 20 minutes.
All right, hold on.
Ago. Would you like to read the full text message that we just got from Bertolino?
Yes, I can do that. He said, Chris and Roberta Laundrie have been informed that the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head and the manner of death was suicide. Chris and Roberta are still mourning the loss of their son and are hopeful that these findings bring closure to both families. Now, what I found interesting is this kind of came out earlier today, so we've been trying to get a hold of Steven Bertolino to get an update because you had mentioned you had reached out to a medical examiner, right?
Yes, I had reached out to the medical examiner's office.
And they said that they weren't going to be providing the update. So then we assumed maybe the FBI would. So I'm still texting here with the attorney, and I asked if there's anything from the notebook or any confirmation on the suicide, and he said nothing further. So then I said, what about the report? Can we get access to the report? He said, I don't have the report. So I asked, will the FBI update us? The medical examiner says it's not coming from them. He said, I was told info will be released at 1 p.m., so I'm not sure if that happened. It's now 1:40, so we don't officially have the report.
But here's the thing. The 1 o'clock news is interesting because
he just
I've
sent
been
that
told
just a second ago.
I've been told that it's going to be released by FBI Denver. That even though FBI Tampa is still still very much involved in the investigation, partnering with FBI Denver. It's still FBI Denver. FBI Denver Mountain Time. So that would be 1 o'clock. That would be 1 o'clock.
Oh, good point.
So
Time difference.
That could be 3 o'clock.
Our time.
Our time, Eastern time. So that's an interesting wrinkle.
That's
I did
Mountain
not
Time.
know that from you as far as notes go before this stream. So for those of you just joining us here, this is Steven Bertolino, the Laundrie family attorney, confirming to reporters and really copying, pasting the same text message to all of us, telling us that the Laundries, Chris and Roberta in Northport, they have been informed of the manner of death being a suicide and that it was via a gunshot to the head. But tons of questions. I know that sounds like a broken record, but still tons of questions. And the big one that comes out of this, Josh, we already see it online, already see it in our Facebook comment section, Twitter, hello to YouTube as well. You can use hashtag HJB, hashtag HJosh, but the big question we're already seeing is, if he died by a gunshot wound to the head, where's the gun?
Right. Everybody's asking that right now.
Where's the gun? Now, happening at the Carlton Reserve, if it was a, let's say if it was a pistol, if it was a smaller firearm and it was a gunshot wound to the head, of course, you would imagine that firearm doesn't travel very far.
Right. You and I were talking about that, and if in the area where the remains were found, obviously remains can get taken from animals. They can carry off by the water. We had talked about how deep the water could have been when this situation unfolded earlier. A gun is going to sit kind of where it sits, and I think especially how heavy it is. It could be down in the mud. It could be under all that water and now under the surface of the leaves and the ground there. So I don't know if they had metal detectors out there at the time during that search with the FBI and with Northport, but you got to believe they're going to be looking for a gun at this point. Because we haven't been told that they had found one. I think we would have been given the heads up that something. We were told that the dry bag and the notebook were found.
It would be very bizarre for the FBI and Special Agent in Charge McPherson announcing at that press conference. Everyone remembers that press conference that day at the Carlton Reserve when they came out and they said that they had found, the book bag, and that they had found a notebook. It would be very strange for them to say that they had found those two items and didn't find a firearm there at the Carlton Reserve.
But would it be? I mean, maybe they don't want people to jump to too many conclusions and thinking maybe there's more to the case or other.
See, right there, that's my point. Why are they saying that nobody ever said a gun when everyone that was on site said there was a gun? I don't know. I can't figure out why they would be hiding the gun. Like, you've already said it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. So why are you hiding the gun? It doesn't make sense to me.
The victims or any victims for that matter, maybe. I don't know. I think that's where an update would then be very useful from the FBI to say, this is the cause of death, this is the manner of death, this is the evidence we have, and this is what we know about the case so far. That would just put a lot of rest to a lot of the questions that people have out there on Twitter and on social media right now, because just a lot of speculation on where this could go from here.
So we have been told, and I was working the phones all morning trying to get more information as to where exactly we were going to get the update from as far as Brian Laundrie's manner of death. This, of course, coming from Steven Bertolino. And let's kind of preface this by saying that this is very extraordinarily common, and I talked about this a little bit on Twitter, Josh, in that the family is going to get advanced notification. It's FBI. It's just the manner in which it's their MO as far as how they operate, that they're going to call the family and let them know in advance. They don't want them to find out from the media or from the public at large.
Sure.
So you make that phone call. So then it's Steven Bertolino's option at that point, him, of course, representing his clients, and I'm sure that they had a conversation. He's going to release it to the media if he so chooses to. That's his prerogative, and he chose to do so. We don't know exactly when that call was, but here, I'll share a little bit of my text exchange with Bertolino. At 11:36 Eastern Time, actually 11:38, we can say 11:38 Eastern Time, he said his clients hadn't received that courtesy call from law enforcement. So that might have come between when the initial text came in, so really in that 2-hour window. So really this afternoon was when, as we understand it, the Laundries found out that their son, their 23-year-old son, Brian Laundrie, died by suicide of a gunshot wound to the head. And now it's just waiting on the FBI. Now, what is the FBI document? I've been hearing that they are preparing a release of some kind. What is that document going to tell us that the Steven Bertolino text doesn't? Are they going to announce any more specific details about whether about the examination process? A forensic anthropologist was given the remains for a period of time, so on and so forth. Are they going to release more about the methodology behind how the conclusion was reached that it was suicide? Because I know that there's a lot of people here, and hello YouTube and Facebook, hello everybody. We'll get to your comments here momentarily. A lot of people that just want more details and want more specifics. But are we going to find out more in the FBI's document that we don't have right now from Steven Bertolino's text messages?
It's a big question as well.
Can you look?
Destiny, I like you and all, but those kind of whacked out theories I don't allow in here. Brian Laundrie is dead. But I've asked a lot of people for give me some logical reason why the FBI would cover for him, and nobody can. So comments about he's alive, take that over to Marissa. I will not have it. It's the stupidest fucking theory in the world. Sorry, I like you, but I gotta say it.
Look at this real quick.
Again.
Fix that. Because a lot of people are asking about that. That's your Facebook? Okay.
Yep, let's fix.
It was a typo, so we just want to make sure that's clarified. So as we know at this hour from the attorney, now this is all we're getting from the attorney. The attorney is the one who is sending out the information that the parents have been informed that the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head and the manner of death was suicide. So yeah, as JB brought up, the question is, where's the gun? That's a big question because obviously it could possibly be in the reserve and very close where those remains were found. But I know a lot of people went out to the reserve after the FBI had opened it. The public was there. I know a lot of people had been searching on their own. They'd been doing their own, digging around there. They've been sending pictures, posting stuff to social media. So if that's the case, I don't believe.
But you want to know something, Destiny? That's the problem of why people have these, like we don't know if, people said that there was a gun taken out of the Mustang. We don't know if it's true or not because so many people made up these bizarre fucking analogies and stories that it just never, we don't know. You start to question sorry, I got the hiccups. You start to question what you heard is real or what you heard was fake. You just don't even know anymore. I don't even remember what's real and what's not because there's so many damn conspiracies.
I think a water bottle was found outside of the investigation, and more remains were found. We weren't certain if those were human or not. I don't believe they were, but that was some of the stuff that the public found on their own after the investigation was wrapped up at the Carlton Reserve. So we have been waiting for this update for a while. I know we've been checking in with the attorney, Steven Bertolino, for weeks, just checking in randomly to see if anything was going to pop up. And to be honest, I didn't think any update was going to be made before the holidays. It seems to be when you have updates of this nature leading up to the holidays, especially with government agencies, that information usually doesn't hit during a holiday necessarily. But in this case, it came out and I think, JB, you're right. I think the family was notified. I'm sure they were notified. They had that discussion on if they wanted to put that out there. And I'm hoping we hear now from the FBI to give it a...
See, but Johnny brings a good point. I'll stay live until 2 o'clock because 2 o'clock my time is when this press conference is supposed to be. So I'll stay live for that long. It's just I got a bunch of stuff I got to do today. And my mom's sick and I made homemade chicken noodle soup for her. So got to bring it to the hotel because she's really sick. So, Molly is wild. But yeah, Molly came on my panel and Sarah, Molly came on my panel and said they found a gun next to the body. Those were her words. She was on site. A lot of them were saying it on site. I don't doubt her at all. I do believe that she heard or was told there was a gun. So I absolutely do not think, as I said in the beginning, I absolutely do not think that she would lie to me about it. I don't think she would do something like that. I have enough faith that I know she wouldn't do something like that. So I know that's what she legit heard. And you haven't heard anything about a gun after that. Yeah, I made a homemade chicken noodle soup. She's got a bad cough. She had it when she got here, but it's just getting worse. So she went to a, not to get sidetracked, but she went to a walk-in clinic yesterday. They gave her some heavy antibiotics, but I mean, she's 75 years old. So it's a really, really bad cough. No, she didn't move. They're visiting for Thanksgiving for the week. But she's just very sick. And she's trying to push through it, but I'm like, Ma, just relax. So, all right. So that's what's happening with Mom. And thank you, little Susie. Why did it take so long to know someone shot themselves in the head? Well, it seems that's why they went to the anthropologist. But then again, that's why your head's going to be blown apart. That's why there was only partial remains. It makes perfect sense. Molly's more entertainment than investigative. But even so, Graham Bam, she was still on site. And she's not going to tell me that, you know, she found something when it didn't happen. Or that she heard something. I just don't believe it. Mother Bear, it's funny that you say that because I just read that and sent it to her last night. I sent it to her boyfriend that vapor rub on the feet seems to work for a cough in old people. Well, to me, she's old. Now, what's the possibility of Brian's involvement? I personally say 0. Absolute 0. Now, think about this, though. Johnny Cuddy brought up a really good point before. What if? Just what if? Well, no, that couldn't have been it. I was going to say maybe the gun was left in the car, but that would be impossible. I don't know. Maybe the parents found the gun. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think about it, I'm like, hey, you never know. I don't know. Maybe they're hiding the gun. Maybe they're going to sell it on eBay. I don't know. You know, you just never know. In the age of social media, cop kept the gun, volunteer kept the gun, somebody kept the gun. They're going to sell it on eBay for thousands of dollars. You just never know. And I know that sounds crazy and that's ludicrous, but people do it every day. And you just never know. Think about it, though. Like, seriously, think about it. The gun that Brian Laundrie killed himself with will go on eBay for tens of thousands of dollars. Just saying. I know I have a morbid mind.
Official news conference or statement, or at least maybe the report as to what they found. So that's what we're waiting on now. And you could be right. The attorney said 1 o'clock. That could be perceived as maybe 1 o'clock Mountain Time. We don't know that for sure, but we're going to try to find out.
Yeah, that's interesting to note that it could be coming in the next hour and a half. Let me put out there, and Josh, thank you for the heads up. So I initially put out a social media post that then got pushed out to several different places, and I was typing at the time that it was that the manner of.
Sarah, it was inconclusive. That's why they sent the body to a. I know, Quinny. Sent the body to an anthropologist because the anthropologist was going to look, do a deep dive into the bones. That's why it went to the anthropologist.
Death has been ruled a suicide in relation to, of course, the ongoing investigation into Gabby Petito's homicide. Words got mixed up. Apologies to all of my social media followers on my WFLAJB Facebook and Twitter pages. That is completely 100% on me. So sorry for the erroneous tweet and the erroneous Facebook post. Brian Laundrie's death has been ruled a suicide. It was never ruled a homicide. It was just a mix-up of words and just typing way too fast. So apologies for that. Okay, so back here with you live, everybody, on WFLA Now. What we're going to do is we're going to feature some of your hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh comments. And Josh, this is something that I know a lot of people are chiming in online about. We've been talking about this, the unanswered questions. That was our last WFLA Now stream about Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito. And this was one of the ones on that list. What exactly happened to Brian Laundrie? But let's talk about timeline for a second. I'm going to queue up some of the comments, but we were talking the last time you and I were on stream.
And yes, if JLR had found the gun, it would be on eBay, 150%.
We were talking about how the decomposition of the remains and them being skeletal puts the timeline only in
Hey, Lindsay, I think we need to remain rooted in reality and focusing on facts here. I'm going to say it for the next 10 minutes. No.
It's not as if that he passed away and that the suicide was done in October. This is likely something that was done.
Not to get sidetracked, Lynn, let me tell you something. Stupidest thing we ever did. Me and my friend, we were like 12 years old, 13. We were obsessed with serial killers. We literally wrote to Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy wrote us back trying to sell us some of his art, sent us art. We were so young. Neither one of us kept it. We threw it in the garbage. To this day, we laugh about it. Like, how stupid were we? Why did we not keep that letter? We couldn't believe he even wrote us back. And with like a hand-drawn something, I don't know why we did not keep it. I thought about this recently when he brought it up to me. And I don't know why we didn't. Yeah, he was trying to sell us some art. We were little kids. I mean, we were literally 13. And I could not believe. Not Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy. It was Gacy. I don't know why I said Ted Bundy.
Talk about the killer clown?
No, yeah. John Wayne Gacy. And we couldn't believe that we threw it out. And yeah, I'll never, ever, ever forget it.
And we have, of
soon
course,
after he returned.
Soon after making his way into the Carlton Reserve.
Yep.
And that's another answer that we're sort of getting, now getting just some more light shed on here with this information from Bertolino.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we went through those motions of trying to figure out, remains and how long it takes for decomp and things of that nature. And, we covered that in depth over the past month and a half. And basically, I think it comes down to the fact that he came back from his trip, met with his family out.
I know, but we had no idea. This was like 1983 or something. We had no idea. All we saw was a letter, and he was trying to sell us some pictures. We were like, we didn't have jobs. We were kids. And I literally forgot all about it until recently when he had talked to me about it. And he was like, remember when we got that letter from Gacy? And I was like, oh my God, dude, I totally forgot about. Yeah, we totally threw it out. He didn't know we were minors. We were just like, we're true crime people. Not true crime, but we're into murders. I don't know what exactly we wrote, but it was something like, we try to pretend we weren't kids. And he did send us something with a little drawing and gave us like where we can buy his pictures, where we should buy his pictures, and we just threw it out. It was not Bundy, it was Gacy. That's why I said, I don't know why I said Bundy, not Bundy, it was Gacy. And yeah, it was crazy.
Out at the campground, went home. Words were exchanged with the family. He went out to the reserve, and I would imagine, in my opinion, that happened soon thereafter. So that would give time for the remains to settle. If the water came up, obviously we looked at the water levels, so that would have played a factor. The humid climate here in Florida would have played a major.
All right, let me put this out there though. Oh, no shit, Graham Bam. That's scary. That is scary. I went to Gates' house after it was torn. So, all right, Flora, they can determine that. You have to understand, they can determine that, which is why they went through an anthropologist. An anthropologist, this is what they do. They study bones. They can tell. I mean, think about it. From bones, they can tell the age of something. They can tell how, dinosaurs got extinct. They can do all of this from bones. That's what anthropologists do. So to question how an anthropologist can tell this from a skull, very easily. This is what they do every single day. This is what their forte is. This is not some Joe Schmo anthropologist. I mean, this is like an FBI anthropologist. This is like the Michael Biden of anthropology. So I absolutely believe that even with a partial gunshot wound or a partial piece, they can absolutely tell you how he died, when he died, and get all the facts from it. The Toolbox Killer is one of the sickest serial killers ever on the planet.
Major factor in how those remains were skeletonized, as we were told. And only partial remains. A lot of you are asking right now what remains were found, and we don't have the answers. I don't have the specifics on what remains were found, but obviously there was enough evidence. Couldn't be determined initially from the medical examiner, that's why I went to the anthropologist, to really take a closer look at DNA and the skeleton to determine a cause of death and a manner of death. So that's what we know at this point. So still a lot of answers. You know, it's a frustrating one because we've all been waiting for some type of closure on the case, for instance, but obviously there's not going to be closure for Gabby's family at this point. You know, we want to try to get more answers, constantly get as much information as we know. Now, where is the gun? Obviously, if it's a gunshot wound to the head, where does that gun exist? Is there one? Is it still in the reserve? Those are all questions now we're going to want to find out. So my hope is the FBI in Denver will give a press conference. And according to the attorney, he had mentioned he was going to get his information at 1 o'clock. So we don't know if that was 1 o'clock Eastern, which is past us now, or if it's 1 o'clock Mountain, which would put us at, 3 o'clock Eastern. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. And if you guys have anything else, you know, we'll start taking some questions here too.
Yeah, we're going to start to feature some out of the Facebook Live comment section. But you know what's interesting? Gabby Petito's death ruled a homicide. Brian Laundrie's death ruled a suicide.
Sarah, wasn't that really good? I thought it was excellent. His one on Darley is really good. His one on Casey Anthony is really good. Like I said, he's a little narcissistic, but he's definitely dedicated. So while we're waiting for this, not to get totally off topic, but while we're waiting, hold on.
It was Halloween night in 1970. A jogger found her naked at 34th with the radio volume to start it.
No, that's not it. Hold on. Does anyone know the verdict in the Ahmaud Arbery trial? That was a case I didn't follow. My mom was telling me about it last night. Oh, is it the Toolbox Killer or the Toy Box Killer? Or is that the same person? One Ton, Alabama, no. Hold on. Hey, little miss.
Black Friday's on at Gap Factory and Gap Factory. Cherry. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be like 10 years from now.
We're getting some great questions for our weekly Ask this evening.
Really? Let's just do it all the way.
Yeah, it's two different people. I'm thinking the Toolbox Killer. And then I saw Toolbox. I'm like, wait, that's a different person. Hang on.
Mom.
Hang on. Not now. Yeah, all I'm finding in the toolbox is the transcript. I want to hear the audio. Yeah, they have the audio, not the video. Sometimes, why would anyone want to actually hear the audio? Because I'm sick like that, that's why. No, I don't see the audio. Oh well. You know, I keep looking for it. It's can't find it. It's only the transcripts. Nope.
As with all of the stories I will tell, there is an element of shock and awe which can be expected when discussing the subject matter. This episode, however, is unlike any I have come across. The absolute horrific acts committed by these individuals had me debating whether to do this episode. Acts so horrific that this case, and its audio tape, is used by the FBI as a training tool to desensitize new agents and profilers to the lowest mankind has to offer. An audio tape of the rape and torture of a 16-year-old girl. While the audio hasn't been made public, the court transcripts are, and in true fashion, the story will be told as accurately as possible. These transcripts will be reenacted in an attempt to give you the full impact of an evil so great it will leave a lasting impact on how you view humanity. This episode of the Serial Holic contains descriptions of disturbing graphic content which may be offensive to some people. Listener discretion is advised. Serial killers.
I'm not a big serial killer, by the way. Eight people, that's nothing.
Murder.
I wouldn't let me go, no.
Because you'd kill again.
More than positive.
Mystery. I'm Dave Jari, and I am the Serial Holic. Life was carefree in California during the year of 1977. Our country was still going through a sense of political and sexual revolution that was born in the 60s, and people were more open to all cultures of life. This was more apparent in the teenagers during this time. Still influenced by the summer of love, teens were experimenting in sex and drugs, where an invitation to drink beer or smoke weed was enough to earn yourself a new friend, however temporary it was. These teens were also naive to the real world, as this was the decade of the serial killer. The media was flooded with monikers like the Son of Sam, the Genesee River Killer, the Hillside Strangler, the Co-Ed Killer, the Killer Clown, the Bedroom Basher, and BTK. In fact, the 1970s had well over 100 known serial killers to the US, and California was certainly a breeding ground. 1977 was also the year Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris sparked a partnership in the California men's colony in San Luis Obispo. The prison wasn't segregated like it is today. In the 70s, medium and low security inmates were housed together, which is how Bittaker, a low-level thief, and Norris, serving time after a series of sexual assaults, met in the first place. During their time in prison, they would develop a plan to rape, torture, and kill unsuspecting teens, and when they were released in 1978, the media would soon have a new moniker: the Toolbox Killers. Lawrence Bittaker was born in 1940 to a couple who had chosen not to have children. He was placed in an orphanage and was soon adopted. Bittaker moved often as a child and failed to develop any meaningful or lasting relationships with his peers. He first found himself on the wrong side of the law when he was caught shoplifting at the age of 12. He would go on to commit several other crimes and would be in and out of juvenile detention for a good part of his teen years. He would later claim that his criminal behavior was a call for attention, as he felt he lacked love as a child. Bittaker would find school boring and tedious and dropped out at the age of 17. It would later be discovered that he had an IQ of 138, which would explain why he didn't feel challenged in his schoolwork. After he dropped out, he committed several other offenses, which would include car theft, hit and run, and evading arrest. He was sent to the California Youth Authority until the age of 18, and upon his release, he discovered that his adoptive family had moved to another state. He would never see them again. Roy Norris was born in Greenlee, Colorado in 1948. His parents, who had not intended to conceive him, were forced into marriage.
Alright, the problem is I'm going to have to do that on a whole nother episode. Because one, it's long. Two, it's 2 o'clock, which means they're going to start the press conference. And I can't fast forward this, which is annoying me. I like podcasts, I can fast forward. This just has a play button, so you like have to listen to the whole thing. That bothers me. I'm gonna go back to the Toolbox Killer was insane too. Hang on. All right. I'm looking through. All right, so far nothing. Hold on. Alright. So they should be back any moment. Alright. But there's also a Toolbox Killer that's insane. Toolbox Killer told people what he was going to do beforehand. Ouch. Yeah, in order to do closed caption, you go to settings and you just turn it on. Someone wrote he shooted himself. You mean he shot himself? You know what's funny though? Basic English mistakes drive me nuts. Absolutely drive me nuts. Like when people says was instead of were, like I was here, drives me insane. I mean, not I was here. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? My ex-boyfriend used to do it, but he was Spanish. I don't know, they use were and was. It just drives me insane. Olivia from TikTok has the gun, according to some people. Okay. So I'm looking at the chat over there. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But if you look at the chat, it's ridiculous. Exactly, Sarah. It's crazy. Hey, Sage, check on Grandma. Okay. Tell I'm going to be over in a little while with soup. 33 reports in 30 minutes. Yeah, why are there no mods? He was a red room on the dark web? Who? Toolbox Killer satellite hooked up to that shed and a ton of high-tech equipment. He was a park ranger, and it didn't make sense where he got the money for that whole setup. It was suspected. So what do you mean? Tanya, that's another one. Yes. No, but autocorrect, that's different. But yeah, some of the, when people are speaking and they say like I can't think of a term. I can't think of a sentence. I remember exactly where Molly was standing when she told you about the gun. Yeah, Molly definitely said there was a gun. Let me see if she's answer. Hold on.
Mom.
Mom.
When you bring the soup to Grandma, can we go to Bridge Street?
Bridge Street? I don't know.
The Apple store. It's on Bridge Street. Please. And I also need to go Christmas shopping for everybody.
You do that on Friday, Dave, not today.
Why?
Because today is not Black Friday.
Okay, but I'm not staying out till 4 o'clock in the morning to do it.
I didn't say you had to.
But everywhere's going to be sold out. It's going to be impossible to get into
Goodbye,
places.
Dayton.
Why won't you just take me?
Goodbye.
Why won't you just take me?
Because I'm not.
At least just take me to the Apple store. Please?
Hush.
Just take me to the Apple store.
Answer your phone, ho.
Call has been forwarded.
Answer your phone, ho. Important. Hey. All right, look, I'm live, and we have a couple of questions, and only you can answer it. When you were in, what?
I'm sorry.
When you were on site at the Carlton Reserve, the first thing you told me was that there was a gun, that they found a body next to the gun. Who told you that?
It was someone, it was a news person, it was a girl that said there was a gun. And then I never heard anybody else say it. And I regret saying it because it wasn't true.
Well,
I just kind of ran with it.
Well, Brian was found, it was determined that it was a single gunshot wound to the head. So my question is, well, what the fuck happened to the gun? Now,
Exactly.
I said that I specifically remember Molly saying she told me there was a gun. Molly wouldn't have lied. She wouldn't have made that up. So she really believed at the time there was a gun, and I believe there was a gun. I don't think that's a lie, but the question is, where is the gun and what the fuck happened to the gun?
There's got to be a gun, yeah.
So, yeah, but even if they did find a gun, Laura Lee, and they wanted it hush-hush, it's still, something's weird about it. Like, I don't know.
I still stand where, so you're telling me that one part of the skull that they telling us, what, a month later?
Well, I can explain that. When you have a gunshot wound to the head, it's going to blow apart your brain. It just is. They couldn't make that determination from eyesight, so they sent it to the anthropologist who does this every day, who's an expert in it, an FBI anthropologist, to be able to piece it together. So yes, I believe the anthropologist.
Okay.
So that's just that. But people were asking about the gun, and I said, I'm telling you, Molly told me there was a gun, but we don't know where it came from.
I heard it from one lady. She was all dressed. She's a young lady. She was younger than us. She was like dressed up, so you knew she was like a camera person. The actual on-site reporter. And she was looking at her cell phone. None of us could get cell phone service as far as like recording and stuff like that, and a lot of computers were down. And I heard her say that, and I was by Brian Enton when that happened.
Okay.
But people were talking about it. People were like I was in that group with Olivia and Jonathan and White Boy Lockdown, and we were like, gun. So we really thought that, holy crap, at that point, he was dead. And I didn't put together my whole thoughts of the whole story that we've been told so far. If these parents knew that he went there to off himself, but the thing is like when I said that, the whole flight home and the whole drive back, I was in a daze. I was thinking to myself, what kind of parents would be supportive in saying, yeah, son, go ahead and blow your brains out. We're supportive. We'll go pick up the car and blah, 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 instead of getting him a lawyer and, fighting it. I mean, he would have had a decent chance of, if he lied, and I don't trust anything that comes out of that lawyer's mouth. That lawyer is a real piece of shit.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just saying that when I was there, I didn't realize how many questions I actually had until I digested it all, and I was, going home. I was like, wait. Let me forget about YouTube, forget about, everything. Let's actually answer questions. If I was on a jury, what would I be, questioning? What would I be looking for? And it just doesn't match up to me that if Jake heard his daughter or fiance, that me, who loves him so very much, would be like, okay, hon, come home and, make all these, I don't know, they did way too many preparations and moves for someone that was gonna their child. I would be like, Jake, you know what? I can't believe you've done this. You've shamed the family, but I'm gonna do absolutely everything I can and get you a lawyer. And you better hope for a plea. And you fucked up. But and there could be a chance of 10 years. I wouldn't want my son to off himself. So you're going to tell me that these parents were so supportive of him? He had a way with those yachts to get away, and that part tells me a lot. They know a lot of people. They really do. And one of those components of that story scares me is that fine, they might not be millionaires, but let me tell you something. My husband's got a lot of connections. My family's got connections, but would I ever utilize them to help to lie for my kid? Absolutely not. I would be like, oh my God, Jake. But if they had the connections to kind of get him out, I don't know, maybe some trusted friends. And remember, their lawyer is a trusted friend.
Yeah, but you're missing a big piece of this. And that big piece of this is, as far as putting it all together, it does make perfect sense. They hired him an attorney because they did not believe that he was going to do anything to himself. They hired an attorney for advice on what they were going to do. That attorney told them what to do. That attorney had talks with them. The attorney may have told Brian, you're not getting out of this. You're going to see jail time. You're going to go to jail for this. And Brian said, I'm not spending the rest of my life in jail. Brian left, offed himself. The parents did not know he was going to off himself, but obviously they had their doubts because they knew he was going to go to jail for this. They knew this was going to, I mean, it's really not a complicated, in-depth story. When you really piece it together, it's pretty simple. And like Brian's father says that he's not going to, if he would have stopped Brian, like if he, could have stopped Brian, he would have. But the lawyer spoke to him the day before. The lawyer told him what was going to happen to him, how this was going to go down, probably how a trial was going to happen. Gabby being the most loved, he's most likely going to go to jail for the rest of his life for 25 years, and this is how they can fight it. And all of a sudden, Brian's like, fuck that, and he went and offed himself. It's not complicated.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Normally, when I have a lawyer, or if anybody has a lawyer, especially a defense lawyer, they're going to want to be hired or be the spokesperson in order to protect him. Not say, hey, you're going to go away for this. No, it's usually, I'm going to protect you.
No, that's not what I'm saying, but they probably gave him the reality of what was going to happen. I mean, when I went to see an attorney, my attorney gave me the reality of what I was facing, the reality of what was going to happen, the reality of this is how we're going to play this out. This is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do that. But you must know that if this fails, you could go to jail for this, like that. I'm sure they told Brian the exact same thing.
Well,
because you're thinking corporate, not criminal. I don't know if you've ever been charged with anything criminal, real criminal.
Yeah, stealing $9 from a stripper.
But that's not real criminal. I'm talking real criminal, like you're facing murder, you're facing forgery, you're facing, real charges. Where you're facing serious jail time. Like the lawyer wouldn't be a good lawyer if he didn't lay out what was going to happen or the possibility of what could happen. I mean, that's just lawyer 101. He had to have told Brian what he was facing, the consequences, everything. In the public, he would protect him, and he did. He told Brian, keep your fucking mouth shut. Told the parents, keep your mouth shut. Told everybody, say nothing to nobody. And that's exactly what they did.
Okay.
People wanted, in my opinion, people wanted it to be so much more complicated than it was. I really believe, I haven't been wrong yet. And I really believe that's as simple as it is. Occam's razor, baby. Occam's razor.
Well, then, I'll tell you what. Well, if this is it and everyone's going to buy up this story, then guess what? There should be no more videos made up about Brian Laundrie anymore, and there should only be in-memory videos of Gabby, period.
Well, there's one final question. Did Brian really kill Gabby? That is the remaining question. We don't have that answer yet.
Well, we can all guess and wonder, but you want to know something? It's the same thing what's her name? In Boulder, John Benet Ramsey. We're going to sit here and wonder for the rest of our lives? Or we're going to sit here and wonder about Nicole Kessinger, if she had a part in it for the rest of our lives? Yeah, we could play this game and become armchair detectives, but I got better things to fucking do. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I'm not going to let this one story overtake my channel. There's nothing I can do to bring the girl back. I had absolutely no control. The only thing that I did was participate in helping these people come out and talk and cooperate so that we could get shit moving. I did it. I'm glad I did it. And it's time to move on. And you want to know something? something I'm proud that I'm, was caught on camera saying it's because of you people. Because if they held all this information, then I'm completely justified in going down there and protesting.
I agree.
It's because of them. We're not talking about Xavier Harrelson. Nobody got an update on Xavier Harrelson except us people in the groups. No one gave a crap about him. Nobody gave a crap about Jelani Day because the whole world had eyes on him. And now everyone's got eyes on this kid, Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, that's just the way that it goes. It's just the way that it goes. I don't think that the whole world really loved Gabby and really was afraid of Brian Laundrie. I don't know. And I also don't think that he killed those girls in Moab. I think somebody's still on the loose. I really do.
I said that from day one, and I agree. I'm glad you finally came around and see the light.
Well, I don't believe that Brian is dead, but he had too long of a head start.
He didn't have a head start. He took a bullet to his head initially. He took a bullet to his head the first day.
I want to see the drone footage. I want to see the drone footage. Why didn't he record it? Why didn't he put it on TikTok?
Why the fuck would he record killing himself?
A lot of people have been doing it. It's like a thing now.
Oh my God. I can't.
Let me tell you something. I would never commit suicide. I love myself way too much.
We know.
I love and I want to look good in my casket.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm going out with a fucking bang, and I want the world to know it.
All right. And Molly will record her own death somehow, some way.
I'm just saying, if I go missing, or if somebody does something to me, I want you, Gray Hughes, I want all you motherfuckers on it ASAP.
All right.
Marie, the whole fucking crowd.
You got it. Can I make 25 grand off of you like Natasha did in 1 month?
Oh boy, you were bad, that girl. Bad news. I've always had a bad feeling about that girl. There's something off. I've heard a lot of stories, even before all this happened, about her being, I don't know, Robbie better watch himself.
Dude, her scams are endless. I've told him. I warned him. I said, Robbie, please get away from her. I love you. Please get the fuck away from her.
He won't listen. He won't listen. He won't listen.
I told him, he's like, he showed me everything from his lawyers. Like, I want you to know that I'm being for real. I said, I totally believed you. I never doubted you once, Robbie. I said, Mommy Ramblings, I know you guys are not besties, but Mommy Ramblings is outing every fucking scam she's ever done, and it's bad.
Good for her. Because you want to know something? That is a true armchair detective. That is a real, hey, you know what? It's like what Stellar did. Stellar was a huge help, with the whole Diane situation.
Yeah.
People in our community, we are like one huge dysfunctional family. We all know each other, but when people are doing fucked up shit, it should be outed. And if I was ever doing fucked up shit, they tried to make the St. Jude thing a fucked up thing. They're trying to make your candles a fucked up thing.
Exactly.
They're trying to deflect all the bullshit that they're doing.
Yep.
To point the fingers at us.
Yep.
What the fuck?
And now it's all coming out. All coming out with shady motherfuckers these bitches are.
Good for Mommy Ramblings. Good for Mommy Ramblings. You know what?
Oh yeah. Quinny, she's way worse than Diane. She makes Diane look like a fucking saint. This goes back years. Years.
And she's got a nasty little attitude. I don't know how people can sit through her. I don't know how. I just don't get it. And then she had problems with Critical K. And then I saw the things that Critical K was saying to her. And I was like, K, you're fucking mean. Holy shit. Because in person, I thought that Critical K was very nice. But then I started seeing all these messages. And Critical K goes, those were in Discord. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's crazy. All right. Thank you for the update.
You want to know something? Every dog gets their day. She's on limited time. If she's really doing something illegal, she's going to have to be...
Dude, she is doing something illegal. She's raised almost $19,000 for nothing. PayPal is fucking promoting this. PayPal's promoting it. She doesn't have a fucking attorney. She's a liar. She's saying that she got an attorney for stuff that you can't possibly have an attorney for. Like, it's all a fucking lie. And people just keep giving.
You want to know something? Everything always comes full circle. That's it.
Yeah, now she raised another Christmas fund she's got $3,000 for. Like, tons of shit. It's the first thing that pops up on your fucking personal PayPal when you go to fundraiser. But Mommy Ramblings, I gotta say, I don't normally listen. I listened to like a 4-hour fucking stream the other day. I was cleaning and I'm like, you know what? I normally can't listen to Mommy Rambling, but man, she's on point and we need to learn from her. Dude, she is so calm when she goes through every bullet point where you and I go off the top. And when we get mad, we show our emotion. She is so calm and so collected. I'm like, God damn, I need to learn from her. And she just goes through every point. She's like, this is defamation, and this is why it's defamation, and you are scamming. I mean, so calm and collected with her thoughts.
What is this collection for exactly?
Which one?
You mean there's more than one?
Oh, she's got about 4 of them right now. One after the other. She's got almost $19,000 for cyber harassment, and that people are harassing her, and she got an attorney. She hired an attorney to stop the cyber stalkers, which I think is like Mommy Ramblings, to stop the cyber stalkers. And with those cyber stalkers, because people are afraid to go on panel because they're afraid they're going to be harassed. So she got an attorney to get all those people that are harassing her. Look, I've spoke to attorneys. That is not even fucking possible.
Let you know what Adrian and 10 other attorneys would say. Get off of
Exactly.
YouTube. Get off the internet.
That's exactly right.
All of them.
There is
Get
nothing.
Off the internet, problem solved. You don't need to do a fundraiser. You don't need to do a She's not a victim. She dishes it out.
Well, according to her, she's a victim, and so are all her subs. That this lawyer is representing it.
I don't know any of her subs. Sorry.
Her lawyer is representing all her subs. So the lawyer is representing all of her subs in this lawsuit.
So who is she suing exactly?
All the trolls.
Okay, who are the trolls?
Thank you. But people are buying this. She's making money hand over fist on it. Then started a new one for a Christmas fund. Okay, her latest thing is a Christmas fund. She's raised about $5,000 in I don't know, a week. And with the $5,000, she's buying Christmas gifts. There was a Thanksgiving fund that she bought people family. I mean, she bought 2 families Thanksgiving dinners, and she never showed a receipt. She never showed anything. You just have to believe her that she bought 2 families Christmas dinners with $2,500 fucking dollars. So, but Boots with the Fur, I've seen Save Robbie's paperwork. He showed me his lawyer paperwork. He's not lying.
Lying about what?
No, someone in the chat had said something. That Save Robbie's doing the exact same thing. He's not, though. He showed me all the legit paperwork and the attorney.
Oh, please.
But I just cannot believe she's doing all this.
Honey, when it comes to money, everything changes, and it puts bullseye on you. And number 2, welcome to 2021, where you can make money on your fucking ass all fucking day that you don't have to fucking work for.
I make less money now than I did a year ago. She made $25,000 on Brian Laundrie. I think I made 2.
I didn't make near that, and I went down there. And I made I made a donation, or maybe more than one donation, to the Gabby Petito Foundation, and...
Oh, that was another thing. She said that she was going to donate to, because she made $25,000, she was going to donate $500 to Gabby Petito. She never did. Then there's rumors that she did another GoFundMe or PayPal to raise money to donate to fucking Gabby Petito, and never did.
No, you can't do that because it's not linked up. It's not linked up.
No, she never made the donation, period.
Well, then, that speaks volumes. I would just fucking stay away and let the cards fall where they will. And, yeah, listen, we already know the girl is really fucking bad news and she's going to wind up in prison. I hope she doesn't have children.
I hope she does, but that's why I said I wouldn't touch it. Kate told me, stay away. But I'm definitely going to promote the fuck out of Mommy Ramblings calling her out. Okay. It's just crazy to me that people keep giving her money. I just don't get it.
That's all the scam artists.
But how do her subs not realize that she's continuing to do this?
I don't know. Have you ever sat and watched any of her live?
Yeah, she's fat, she's ugly, she's boring. I can't even look at her. I mean, I just can't. She's just disgusting to look at. But you're friends with Robbie, so what's the difference? Because Robbie's legit. Natasha's not. That's the difference. Her people love her, exactly. I just don't get it.
Let them love her then. If she can live with herself, and her behavior, then so be it.
Yeah, she's making money hand over fist. She and her daughter fart on their lives. Sometimes it's gross. Oh no, I swear to you guys, I saw Robbie's paperwork. He sent it all to me. Because he didn't want me to think that he was scamming anyone. And I wouldn't tell you guys that if I wasn't being serious. He really did. Then our subs get what they deserve after all the info. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Just same thing like Diane.
But it's people like that hurt for us. Like, it really is. No, Robbie's not suing the trolls. Robbie's going after somebody specific.
I was like, shit. I was like, you know what? I think it was 2 weeks ago where I was like, you know what? I don't even think YouTube's worth it anymore.
And you know who's connected to both scammers?
Who?
Hello, Starlight.
No.
Yeah, Natasha Cooper sent her money for her birthday. Sent her like $50 back in October. Like, why isn't Natasha Cooper sending Starlight money?
Wow.
Yeah.
She's been a real disappointment.
So we know who hangs out with scammers.
I don't want anything to do with any of them, sorry.
It's crazy. Oh, most of her old subs left. She brought in newbies in the GP case. She deleted all of her old nasty videos and started to raise money for a lawyer, and they're falling for it. Oh, they're definitely falling for it.
I would never ask anybody for money.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that I wouldn't, but not like that. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Fucking Princess was like, oh my god, I need to GoFundMe. I said, don't you ever fucking dare.
Someone bought Princess a candle, by the way.
Aw, he's gonna be so happy. I was just on my way over to the hospital right now.
Yeah, someone bought him a candle. Ask him what scent he wants.
He would like, you know what? He likes colognes. So do you have anything that's cologne?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Alright. He likes cologne.
Alright.
Alright, bye everyone. Bye, Laura.
Bye. I'll talk to you later. Alright. So I guess JB is never coming back. I mean, we were like a half hour over. Hold on. Update on mom. Feeling a little better. Went back to my old cough medicine. Was just napping. All right. So, I am going to get up. I got to get dressed. I got a couple things to do. I got to go to the post office. Are you paused on his stream? Am I? I guess so.
If the gun was discovered,
Whoops.
but it was discovered after that press conference that day
by Special Agent in Charge McPherson. Very curious.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this play. I'm just going to get dressed, but I'm going to let this play, so I'll still be here. Hold on. I'm not leaving yet, since he's on.
Some more comments for a few more minutes, and then we're going to go back into we'll be right back mode in favor of getting Walt in position and ready to go for our next full stream. Jessica B, hashtag AJB. I wonder who the gun was registered to. Where did he get a gun? Where did he get a gun? You know. Don't know. We don't know. Elizabeth Gregory bringing it right back. Hashtag HAB. Who killed Gabby? Everyone wants to jump from A to B and connect the dots, and we can't do that. It's important that we don't do that as far as our journalistic integrity goes. We don't make that announcement. The FBI makes that announcement. Reporters report the facts, and the facts of the case are this. The FBI hasn't definitively said who killed Gabby Petito. She died of manual strangulation because of the Teton County coroner's press conference in Wyoming. We know that. Their autopsy results that were performed there in Teton County, Wyoming. We don't know that Brian Laundrie is responsible for it. He is the sole person of interest, has been the sole person of interest, and that just immediately, it's so easy to jump to that conclusion, but we just don't know for certain whether or not it was, in fact, Brian Laundrie. So we'll find out, hopefully, at the next stage. Here's the thing. Gabby Petito dies of homicide. Autopsies performed, autopsy results released. Brian Laundrie, his remains are found, autopsy performed. Now we have procedurally, as you would expect, we're going now procedurally through the ABCs of how this would go down as far as the FBI's procedure and how they would release information. Next up would have been a week ago if you had asked me what's the next step. It's the FBI or the medical examiner's office releasing the results of the autopsy. Now we have that. Now the question is what's next? Because now we're in, okay, the investigation is where exactly? And we go into this general, we've called it uncharted territory now. Now, we knew this was going to happen. We knew that they were going to release the autopsy results eventually. The big question now is what's next? FBI experts out there, we need to get you on WFLA now, or and you'll see them across network news tonight. What actually, because listen, the FBI is going to go home to their families for Thanksgiving, take the holiday, and December, I was sure that the work continues in December, but then we have Christmas. What's going to happen? As far as there's no pressing urgency right now, other than the public demand, there's no pressing urgency right now for the FBI to do anything else. There's nothing procedurally, no obvious next step for there to be the release of information. The obvious next step a week ago was this. The document you're looking at here, we were waiting for this document. It's here now. The next document, we have no idea. No idea what the next document's going to be. We have no idea what the next press release is going to be, the next press conference, the next update. And we don't know if that update's going to happen in a week, a month, a year, or a decade. We don't know. Time of death. Who asked about time of death? I'm very glad you brought that up. Who brought up time of death? I just saw it. I want to just shout out the commenter. There it is. Chelsea Lawrence, #AJB. Will time of death be determined? I'm glad you asked, because that's the glaring difference between Teton County and District 12 here in Florida. Teton County in Wyoming, when they announced it, it was on a Zoom call with the Teton County coroner, Dr. Brent Blue, and we were able to ask some questions, some follow-up questions. You guys remember it was kind of an interesting press conference. Brian Enton was hacked. John Walsh asked some questions as well, and it was a lot of people asking a whole lot of questions and us not getting a whole lot of answers. But the one answer that we were able to get was an estimated time of death for Gabby Petito, which was towards the end of August. We don't have that with this release, and this being a release and not a press conference, we're not able to answer that, or ask that very, very, very pertinent follow-up question. When is it believed that Brian Laundrie passed away? When did he die of suicide? When did that actually occur? Is there an estimated
on
time?
day one?
And let's not forget that we're dealing with two very different autopsies. We had Gabby Petito's remains, which there was just more there for the Teton County coroner to work with, as we understand it, based on what was the autopsy in Florida, which was skeletal remains, partial human skull. This makes it much more challenging to determine things like a potential time of death, but we don't have that here in this document. It's widely believed that his remains were there for some time because they were skeletal. So, and Northport police have commented that it's in all likelihood that he went into the Carlton Reserve and within days, if not within a day, was dead, and then now, as we know, dead by suicide. So, but we definitively don't have it here in this release. Ellen Underwood, #HAB. Has there been a response from the Petito and Schmidt family? Hey, from the UK. I have been checking my phone. Nothing from the Petitos, nothing from the Schmidts. I would imagine that this day for them is strange, because it tells us something but tells us nothing all at the same time. Or maybe for them it tells them more. And you know what? I'd be very curious to ask them when they found out this information. Have they known for some time? Have they known for? And when I say sometime, did they find out around the same time this afternoon as the Laundrie family, or soon thereafter? But no, to answer your question, I've not heard from the Schmidts or the Petitos today, Gabby Petito's family. All right, folks, I'm going to step away for a moment. And by a moment, I mean we're going to be back live at around 4 o'clock Eastern. That's in 19 minutes from now, roughly, with 8 on your side investigator Walt Buteau. Answering some more questions for us now that Brian Laundrie's death officially has been ruled a suicide. Gunshot wound to the head is the official cause of death here in the medical examiner's report, which you can read on WFLA.com. We'll be right back with 8 on your side investigator Walt Buteau.
All right. So, unfortunately, I cannot stick around to do that for 20 more minutes because I have to go pay my rent, which I forgot to pay yesterday. So, I got to go pay my rent, and I have to bring soup to mom at the hotel. and I have to go to the post office. So I got to get all this done within like an hour and a half. But if you guys want to know all about Natasha Cooper, go to Mommy Ramblings blog. She's got everything. Everything. Past, present, future, everything. So, but I will see you guys later. I will try to get on later again. Thank you guys for coming. Again, like and subscribe. And that's it. Order some candles. And I'm going to promote those. Black Friday's coming. So there's going to be specials again tomorrow. Molly's candle's still on sale, by the way. And that's it. So I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Peace.